Hi guys, I'm Abdul and I'm really excited about the video we've got for you today because I keep getting this question asked by people all the time. And the question is, Abdul, I own a house and I need to move out. Should I rent it and start earning money from it, or should I sell it and get the cash for right now? You might be in a situation where you need to move out because of a new job, financial issues, or you found a new home to move into. Whatever your reason, we've got you covered. You might be thinking the market right now isn't great for selling a house, but my circumstances mean I don't want to stay in the property I'm living in, so maybe I should rent it out until the market's in a better state for me to sell the place. There's no one clear answer for all, and because everyone's situation is different, I wanted to put this video together for you to help you make the decision that's going to be right for you. Without further ado, let's get started. Hi guys, I'm Abdul and I'm really excited about the video we've got for you today.
We just want to deliver a great customer service. Don't you want a great service?
The main reason behind this video is that I've had this exact conversation with many of my clients and couldn't help but think, if they're having to ask me so much questions about it, there must be hundreds of people out there who are in a similar situation, not knowing whether to sell or rent their home. The first question almost every customer has asked me regarding this is, Abdul, should I rent out my house or sell it? Because I like to have the cash from selling it, but the market right now isn't strong enough to give me the price I want. So what should I do? Lots of people have been in this situation, so if you are as well, don't worry, it's a very common question. People find themselves in a situation for several reasons, and the very common one is that they've come into some money. This could be an inheritance or savings that they want to move into a bigger property, but at the same time want an investment property. So let's look at some of the possible scenarios that you might run into and give you some knowledge to help you make the decision that's going to be right for you. So the first thing you should be thinking is, what will my house rent for? Knowing your monthly rental income is the biggest factor in your decision making process, because if your property doesn't earn enough money to pay the bills, you're losing straight away. Imagine your mortgage is £500 a month. You'll have your additional expenses that come being a landlord, so that could easily cost you best part of £700. Therefore, if your rent doesn't cover this, then you've got to pay the difference personally. So is it really worth having more personal outgoings if your main reason for having a rental property is to make money? But it's very easy just to rent out the property and then suddenly realise that you aren't making any money and you're in fact losing it. I'd make sure you know what rent you will get for the property, and if it doesn't cover the expenses as a landlord, let alone give you a profit, then is it really worth holding on to the property? I personally don't think it is, but some may disagree and say, Abdul, the area my property is in has got lots of developments going on, and I know personally my property will sell for a lot more in the years to come, so I think I should hold on to it. Or you might want to pass the property on to a family member like your brother or sister. Then yeah, it's probably going to be a different decision that you're going to make, as you've got a special circumstance that makes it worthwhile to hold on to. If you can't see it giving you a profit, or it's touch and go, then is it really worth holding onto an investment that's so marginal and risky? Once you've worked out what it's rent for, the next step for you is to work out what your expenses will be. Now, we've already mentioned about mortgage payments and the additional expenses, but I'm going to break down those additional expenses into some likely costs that you will find each month. You might, depending on how you want to manage the property, have management fees to pay if you want a letting agent to manage the property on your behalf. This can cost anywhere between 8 to 12% of the monthly rental income, generally depending on the service. So you have the letting agent fees, utility and the maintenance expenses to think about. Maintenance expenses cover the general care of the additional utilities that you provide with the property, and the maintenance of the permanent fixtures within the property, such as boilers, plumbing, electrical maintenance, gas. The list goes on, and planning for those breakdowns will happen at some point. It's crucial. At some point your boiler might need replacing. This can cost you north of £2,000 when it happens. Fence panels will get broken, as well as those you might have problems like damp on the walls, rooms need replastering. All of these can happen, and accommodating for these from the start will mean you don't find yourself in trouble when it comes to having them done and not having the cash behind you to get them fixed. You've got to decide whether to include the utilities in your rental amount. These add complexity, as you may would have only used half of the gas the new tenants will use, and therefore usage associated with all-inclusive rents can quickly eat into your profits. That's only if you don't plan for them. Also, depending on the bills when they are due, can make cash flow planning trickier. So in some cases, you might have to pay the utility bills before your rent has even been received. It's easy to say, hey, when I lived there, all my bills and the mortgage payments cost me £1,000 a month, and it won't be any more than that. But in most cases, that's not the case. If you're lucky, it'll be similar, but vast majority of the cases, it'll be a lot more expensive. So knowing what it roughly costs you to rent out the property is super important. After sorting out the numbers and what you think you learn on a month-to-month basis, the next step is to work out the return on the equity in your property. If your property is worth £200,000 and your mortgage is £150,000, then you'll have £50,000 of your own money in that property. That's your equity. So the return on the equity is really important. It's a figure that shows how much money you earn in per year against the total investment you have in the property. Let's take the previous example. You have £50,000 of your own money invested in your property. Your profit after all your expenses have been taken out, let's say £250 per month, times that by 12, that's £3,000 a year in rent. Now you've just got to work out what percentage of the £3,000 is against your investment of £50,000. In this example, that's going to be a 6% return of your investment for that year, which is a lot more than you will earn with the cash sitting in a UK bank at the moment. Opportunity cost must not be ignored either. This means if you take £50,000 and earn 10% somewhere else, then that must be looked at as a cost. So in conclusion, there's no one answer that applies to everyone, but if you assess the factors discussed, you're able to make a much more informed decision whether to sell or rent your home. I must say, at the moment, the sales market is really hot because of the recent stamp duty holiday and the pent-up demands, but as always, the market can fluctuate. Selling comes with an array of costs too, which we'll cover in another video. So make sure you hit the like button, comment below with any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, and don't forget to smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell icon to be notified when we upload new videos. Thank you so much guys, and I'll see you in the next video.